I feel like we live in such an interesting time because consuming content, as we all know, has never been easier, but also creating content. I'm talking about creating high quality, successful content has also never been easier. And no surprise, it's because of AI. And honestly, if you ask me, I think AI has to be one of the best things to have ever happened to content creation. So the other day, I posted my first YouTube video. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys and say that it's definitely not by nature the easiest thing to do. You see a lot of YouTubers who has already built up an audience, and usually one advice that they would give on creating content is just start. Right? Just start, just record, post a video. Like, don't get me wrong, that advice is definitely not wrong. It's correct because obviously you can't get anywhere if you don't take action, right? If you don't take the first step. But there is a little twist because there is a difference between just starting and being consistent. And these two things are what makes the difference between somebody being a successful creator and an unsuccessful creator. So, consistency is where you want to be. And think about it like this in terms of how it works, right? You do need to start in order to be consistent, but just starting and only posting one video or a few videos here and there with long gaps in between and not being consistent, that won't bring you success. Consistency equals success. It's just maths. Like, literally, trust me on that. I feel like that's where a lot of people fall off and give up because they think posting one video in the spur of a moment is gonna bring them fame, is gonna bring them money, is gonna bring them success. I've tried it. It doesn't work. Now, with all that being said, this is where things get interesting with AI. Since we already established that consistency equals success, obviously that's what we want to do, right? And that is exactly the problem that AI solves. Hear me out. You can disagree with me on this, but I'm pretty sure just doing something once or a few times is way easier than being consistent because consistency is doing something for a long time, for a long ass time. And I feel like that definitely requires a lot more effort and discipline. So if AI can actually solve our consistency problem, then that's a huge chunk of our issues solved. All right, so before I get completely carried away, let me show you some of the ways that I use AI to help me stay consistent on my own content creation journey. Okay, so this is the first thing that I wanted to show you guys, this entire setup here. Don't worry, I know you're wondering why the screen is blank. I put it like this on purpose. Okay, so I set up this entire recording studio on OBS using Codex. And guys, I just found this so cool to do. Like, I had to basically do nothing. I just talked to Codex and I had it looking the way that I wanted to. So with OBS, I've used it before for a couple of streams, gaming streams for fun. And if you know OBS, the original layout is quite basic. It's just like a black screen, and you would have a rectangular landscape video icon of yourself at the corner there. Nothing wrong with that. I just wanted something a little bit more me. So I decided to go on YouTube and see what some creators are doing with their setup. And I found a few creators who set up their camera like this and had a nice background. I was like, oh, that's really nice. So I wanted to see if I can do that for myself. But honestly, guys, you don't need perfection. And I'm also not looking for perfection. This is just like a personal preference, and it didn't take me very long, which is why use AI, guys. And this is basically exactly where AI came really handy. Okay, so I wanted to show you quickly now how I essentially did this on Codex. So all you have to do is download Codex and have it on your laptop. And basically all I have to do is talk to it. It's not really loading, but that's all right. It doesn't matter. I provided a picture, screenshotted what I wanted the setup to look like, and I gave it to OBS to study, and I just spoke into it. So I use voice to text. I spoke to it what I wanted and sent it over, and basically it was just able to set it up for me automatically. And then it then gave me the feedback. And then I kind of checked OBS. There was a little bit of a mistake. I just kind of told it what to fix, and it fixed it really quickly. There wasn't a lot of confusion and there wasn't a lot of mistakes. So I was like actually really surprised at how smoothly it was able to understand what I want and set up OBS for me so quickly. And guys, this is so crazy for me because I was thinking that before, when people used to create content, if they wanted to set up OBS in a custom way, they would have had to look up maybe 10 YouTube videos, learn how to do it themselves, make the mistakes, still have it do like still have it do something wrong, go back to watch the YouTube videos, search something on Google and then do it themselves. But now you don't have to do that. All you have to do is use Cloud Code or Codex. I find Codex a little bit easier because it's not so heavy on the credits, but literally all you have to do is that, because it lives on your computer, and if you just give it the instructions and it will just do it in a click. I actually made a couple of different versions. I made a version where it's like have my screen looking like this in a square format as well, but I think this one is my favorite. I kind of got carried away with creating it because I was just like, why not create different versions where I can use it in different future videos that I will make. And yeah, I will just show you quickly here how AI added. Here's the thing. Titles here. 1, you're using the wrong AI. 2, AI doesn't know who you are. And 3, prompting on its own won't make AI write any better. Yeah, and I just find that so cool. Like, I didn't have to edit anything on my own. That was just done for me. So by doing this, using the Descript MCP with ChatGPT, I probably saved hours of editing. And that is just incredible because that in itself makes the recording and video creating way less stressful. So you can get videos out way quicker. You don't have to end up thinking in your head before you have to record a video and dreading, oh my God, I have to like sit down and edit my video for the next 6 hours. You know what I mean? Like it just takes so much mental load off of the work that you have to do. Next up is visuals. Now, you can't post a good YouTube video without a stunning thumbnail, am I right? I mean, you know what? If you don't like thumbnails, you can also upload your video raw and kind of have it like that. It's quite trendy nowadays, actually, where people just post really honest, raw videos. And I quite like it because it's so authentic. But I feel like I'm the type of person who likes a custom thumbnail. So that's why I make it with AI. This is how I streamline my thumbnail making process. So you can see here, I initially made a thumbnail with a picture that I screenshotted from the video that I made, and it made me into someone that didn't actually look like me. It looks like another Asian girl. So what I did was I put the two pictures side by side and ask it to, I'm making my YouTube thumbnail. Okay, keep everything else the same. The cutout of me is not me. I need you to take this picture of me exactly. And programmatically, this word is actually very important that I found. If you ask ChatGPT to programmatically place you somewhere, it would actually take you exactly how you look and place you there without altering how you look. So that's a hack that I found to be super helpful when I'm creating realistic thumbnails of myself without actually changing how I look. I also did like a second version just to be safe. So I made this one as well from a snapshot of the real video. I like to use like real snapshots from the actual video that I make so it feels more in the moment. But you can also use like pictures from your camera roll that you like of you smiling or of you, doing whatever expression that you like. And once again, this literally saves me so much time. Like I used to go to Canva and actually place cutouts of myself into pictures if I need to make a graphic. But now I don't really need to do that. And it makes really high quality thumbnails for me. Like ChatGPT's image model has developed so much. If you remember how it was like before, it used to look not as realistic as it is now. But with just ChatGPT alone, you can literally make your whole graphic pack for anything that you need. And this is so interesting because I talk about this a lot with my boyfriend when we're working together. We had a business together before and we were working on a project and we had to create a lot of detailed animations. So we hired these animators and honestly, I'm all for working with creatives. I think they're great. If I had the opportunity to work with creatives again, I definitely would because I love working with people. But we were spending thousands and thousands of dollars just for a lot of these drawings, and they were amazing, honestly, but it was just like a lot of money and time spent. And right now I don't really have the resources to be hiring. So if you don't really have the money to pay for something very detailed, you can now just do it in AI, and I think that's just so cool. We have so much of these resources where before it would have taken so much time as well to go back and forth with another individual if you're working with someone to create these. Okay, and while we're on the topic of creating animation, I also wanted to show you guys something that I created using ChatGPT. So in my spare time, I like to play Overwatch. And at some point in the future, I do want to start a gaming channel for fun. So I had an idea one night and I was like, why don't I create a YouTube banner? Because I was just bored, so I wanted to make something, and it came out so good, guys. Like I was like so amazed, and I was just like, yeah, I'm saving this for whenever I need it. Like I play Juno. I don't know if anybody's watching this who happens to be an Overwatch player, but I made Juno, so this is what I made, and guys, this had me obsessed for a couple of days. I never realized how important of a skill writing is after I started creating. I actively use ChatGPT as my personal writing mentor, and it works wonders. And let me tell you why. AI in itself does sound very generic, but if you come from a place where you never had a habit of keeping a diary or had a habit of doing daily writing so that you can write pieces that's actually good and people would really enjoy reading, then you would really find this helpful because this helped me tremendously. So, like I said, AI in itself does sound very generic, and the writing that it produces when it's not trained off of your own language sounds very stale. But that staleness does have an advantage. If you just give it your very raw writing and you can keep it as messy as you like, and that's what mine was initially. I just kind of information dumped anything on my mind without any structure, and I give it to AI and it will give it back to me in a way that is clean and organized and in more of a proper language. So what I would do is I would take that and then read through it and then be like, oh, okay, this is good, this is interesting. And I would learn the ways that it would actually structure it, not the way that it would write it. I will learn the way that I structured my writing. I would intentionally ask it to make it very well structured so it has a well laid out storytelling format. So essentially what that's doing is lowering the barrier to entry to a skill that you need to learn. And that's actually how I started loving writing on a daily, is because I actually started to feel like that I'm good at writing. Because every time that I would get back a piece of writing from ChatGPT, I would read it and I would think, oh, this is like my writing, but slightly better to start. Obviously you don't want to take direct writing from AI as like a piece of content to post or something to be taken as yours. You want to learn from it and take from it what you can so that you can improve it in your own way. Okay, now this is probably the foundation, bread and butter, backbone of my content creation brain. And I do this on Claude. So Claude is my 24/7 content strategist. And this is incredibly useful to use AI for, in my opinion, to get your content creation journey started. Because instead of having to strategize every single thing, you can simply just ask AI to do that for you. So here's how I did things. What I did is I scraped YouTube for data. After I scraped YouTube for data, I took all the information that it gave me and gave it to Claude in an empty file. And so I gave it a prompt. So this is me speaking. I'm working on my YouTube strategy. Here's information. And I dissected it into 3 stages: seed, style, and signal. If you want a detailed tutorial on how I did this, please let me know in the comments, because I'll be happy to go through if this is helpful to anybody. So like I said, I did it in 3 stages: seed, style, and signal. The seed is basically what my niche is and everything that is growing from the foundation of that. And style is what kind of style that I want my YouTube videos to be like. And the signal is the final layer, which is a real live collection of what is going on and what is popular in YouTube right now, so I can better navigate what is trending. And as you can see, this is exactly where I got my inspiration for my first video. I didn't have to go to YouTube to look at what other people were doing. I didn't have to watch 10 YouTube videos to get inspiration. I got it from AI, and then I used my own brain to come up with creative ideas under this title, and boom, I have my first video. It's literally that simple. If you use AI to help you with your creative process, you are going to be flying. And that's all from me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you found everything helpful, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will see you soon in another video. Bye.